image. Win prizes with your avatar, win games against your friends, and find out why today's a big day for Scarlett O'Hara. Live from the New Media Studio here at beautiful Valley High School, this is Falcon Flash. All right, good morning, students and staff. Today is Thursday, the 8th day of November. Today's Patriotic Observance. We recognize the birth of American author Margaret Mitchell, who wrote the great American novel, Gone with the Wind, about the Civil War. Rather than me tell you about her life and her impact on literature, let's watch this biographical video.
One of the most widely read novels of the 1930s was Gone with the Wind. Who wrote this novel? Why was it so popular? Margaret Mitchell lived her entire life in Atlanta, Georgia. She was born into a wealthy family in 1900. Her father was a lawyer, and her mother was a suffragist who fought for women's rights. Margaret was a tomboy who preferred riding ponies over playing with dolls. When she was little, she would go riding nearly every day with a Confederate veteran. At the age of 6, Margaret's mother took her on a tour of many of the plantations that had been burned or otherwise destroyed during the Civil War. As a child, she also spent much time around uncles who were Civil War veterans and aunts who had lived through the conflict. These elderly relatives told her many stories about the war and how difficult those times had been. When Margaret was 22, she took a job as a journalist at the Atlanta Journal. Her family did not approve of this career, as they felt being a writer was beneath her status in society. She worked for the Atlanta Journal for 4 years, writing more than 200 articles. Then, in 1926, she was involved in an automobile accident which severely injured her ankle. While recovering, her husband encouraged her to write a novel. She continued to work on the manuscript for the next 10 years. Finally, in 1936, the novel was published. It was titled Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind tells the story of Scarlett O'Hara, the daughter of a wealthy plantation owner who finds herself in poverty in the aftermath of the Civil War. It's a coming-of-age story that details the struggles of Scarlett's life as she grows from adolescence into adulthood. The novel was immediately successful, becoming the best-selling book of both 1936 and 1937. People across America, especially women, were reading Gone with the Wind. It resonated with many who had experienced prosperity during the 1920s but found themselves suffering in the midst of the Great Depression. In 1937, Mitchell received the Pulitzer Prize for fiction. 2 years later, the film version was released starring Clark Gable and Vivien Leigh. The film was a smashing success, setting box office records that would stand for decades. The novel would eventually be translated into more than 70 languages. Foreign audiences appreciated the story for its themes of love, war, class conflict, racial strife, and generational conflict, which are universal to the human condition. To this day, the novel is still loved and cherished by millions of readers throughout the world. It is thought of as one of the greatest American novels ever written, and a book that helped influence and shape the nation.
All right, if you've never heard of that book or read it or seen the movie, I recommend Gone with the Wind, American classic literature and cinema. Today's picture of the day shows Mr. Garcia as he shows off the electric vehicle being built by our Automotive Academy. This is a project through the California Energy Commission, and only 8 schools in California, Valley is the only one in Orange County, that are working on this project. We are very proud of our students in the automotive class for taking on such a wonderful and exciting opportunity. The car, equipment, and some of the tools were provided by a grant to our class. The best part of the grant program is that we get to keep the EV once it's fully assembled and ready to run. All right, Gabby's not here with us today, but we do have Jesus, and he's going to tell you more about the Falcon Flash. Good morning, Jesus.
Good morning, Falcons. Here's today's Falcon Flash. A few reminders on some ongoing efforts and opportunities and some calendar reminders. First, tickets for our Camelot event are still going on sale for $45. Grab your friends and prepare for the night, a fun adventure, and a whole lot of free pizza coming up next Thursday. Tickets are now being purchased in ASB. Speaking of ASB, we are still collecting canned goods and hygiene products through next Thursday. Everything you donate will be passed along to Valley families in need this holiday season. We have 2 colleges coming to campus next week, Cal State Dominguez Hills on Tuesday and Concordia on Thursday. But how would you like to get into these or any other college? Take your avatar through the college admission process and learn how to successfully get in. Participate in the admission challenge that can earn you some personal rewards for completing different levels of the game. You can exchange these personal points at the reward store for your own prizes, like a PS Vita. The more students from Valley that are participating, the better. As a campus, we can earn up to $2,000 in a grant just for participating regularly and learning about the college process. Valley High School will be competing with other schools in the challenge from now until December 14th. We will be off from school next Monday in recognition of Veterans Day. Tomorrow, our patriotic observance will tell you more about this special holiday. And finally, next Friday is a day off for students and will lead into a whole week off for Thanksgiving. Before you need to go, say goodbye to your friends for 10 days. Wouldn't it be great to get to challenge them to a game of golf, laser tag, or a few laps around the golf course?
All right, and that's it for today's Falcon Flash. Thank you, Jesus. And remember, Falcon Fever, catch it!